What's up, Urban Acolyte Army? My name is Prince and I'm an Urban Acolyte. In my last video about Kelly Marie Tran and how her post suddenly disappeared from Instagram, I talked about racism within the Star Wars community, or this idea of toxic tribalism that I picked up from Chris Pirillo. After I posted that video, I'll be honest, I was pretty much done with this whole the whole drama that's been going on. But the homie Chris Pirillo came through in the clutch, and he posted this interesting article from Esquire magazine about how some people who call themselves Star Wars fans, they just don't get it. Like, all this time they've been watching Star Wars movies, and it's like they've completely missed everything that Star Wars stands for and that Star Wars is about, and the message that is behind Star Wars. So I thought it was an interesting article. It's right up my alley as far as the things that I talk about, the themes that I try to point out. So I think this is a good time to highlight that stuff, to share this article with you guys, and to really just put this out there. Who my audience is ready to receive this stuff. If you're not and you don't like what I have to say about it, well, I mean, honestly, why are you even here, right? Well, I forgot, there's some people out there, y'all watch my videos specifically to thumbs down them because that means something. So this article is titled "Star Wars Fans Fundamentally Misunderstand Star Wars." It's by Dom Nero, and it was posted, I think Thursday. The subtitle reads, "The franchise was founded on progressive values, but recent controversy surrounding Kelly Marie Tran proves vocal fans think otherwise." So it goes on to say that Star Wars is a forward-thinking franchise that's iconic for its diverse, colorful vision of the galaxy, has always been orbited by an asteroid field of obsessive fans with strong opinions. But with the reboot of the franchise has come a new, more dangerous type of Star Wars fan. Kelly Marie Tran, who portrayed the scrappy resistance hero Rose Tico in The Last Jedi, silently left Instagram this week following a shameful harassment campaign mounted against her by whiny neckbeards from the very vocal minority of Star Wars fans who do not agree with the progressive ideals set forth in the refreshingly inclusive, emotionally nuanced film. Right? I mean, this whole thing started with The Force Awakens, with the first teaser where Finn comes up out of the sands of Jakku in stormtrooper armor, and oh man, people were upset. You can't have a black stormtrooper. The stormtroopers are all clones. Keep in mind that the actor who portrayed Jango Fett, at least he appears to me to be a person of color, a brown person, right? A Kiwi from New Zealand. But we can't have black stormtroopers, right? So, I mean, the first thing, I said this when I came at Ben Shapiro about his criticism of The Last Jedi. This is art. You're more than welcome to interpret art any way that you want to interpret it. But if you pick up the Bible and you right, and this is because the Bible is canon, right? And you're criticizing things in the Bible, and all you know is one gospel, right? You don't know that the synoptic gospels and then the Gospel of John all have different messages. They all aren't exactly the same, even the synoptic gospels, right? I think I touched on this in a video a long time ago, but that whole Immaculate Conception thing that we've all kind of agreed on is not in the Gospel of Luke. If you want to try me, go read it, slow down, read it slowly out loud to yourself and see that the Immaculate Conception is not in Luke's Gospel, right? Same thing with Star Wars. When you start interpreting things the way you want to interpret it, you might need to slow down and look at everything, right? We've got an established canon. That's the great thing that happened when Disney stepped in and bought Lucasfilm, and Bob Iger sat down with Kathleen Kennedy. Actually, this started when George Lucas was stepping down. Hey, we want to make more Star Wars movies. We want to reboot this, and we're picking up with what George created, And that's what we're running with. So this whole, oh, we're going to bring back the EU and the alliance to restore the expanded universe. You guys take several seats at the back of the bus because you're dumbasses, right? That's basically how I feel about all of this criticism. Most of these guys who are criticizing the movies and the decisions that are being made, you don't understand Star Wars. You haven't even read everything, right? The whole thing about Kelly Marie Tran's character. Look, this girl Rose, she's like the good angel on Finn's back, right? And then, well, I don't have a DJ action figure, but if I did, DJ would be the bad. I shouldn't, because now I'm turning my hand over to look like it's the black side is evil, right? But DJ represents, so Finn's got this moral choice. He's got this moral dilemma, right? Finn in The Last Jedi mirrors Rey. They both have to make this decision. Who am I? What is my identity, right? For Rey, she's got Kylo Ren over here. For you Reylo people, him swaying her to the dark side. And then she's got Luke here, who's become disillusioned because of this guy. And Rey actually restores Luke's faith in the Jedi, in the lights, in the Force, and making him realize, I still have one more legend left in me to leave to the galaxy, right? So, you know, these guys, oh, they ruined it, and the white men are all evil, and they're incompetent, and this and that. Hey, man, it's called character development. Everybody can be perfect, and if it bothers you that much, separate race from all of this, because that's what I've basically done with Finn. Do that with Rose, right? These are just characters, right? What if this was on a stage? There's nothing that says that this character must look like this actor that portrays this character must look this way. This one must look this way. They're just characters. They're actors. It's a story. It's a fairy tale set in space. And if we're going to start trying to tear it down, we need to actually understand what's going on. We need to understand that Star Wars has always been progressive. We had the rebels going against the evil empire, and George Lucas's concerns during the 70s were coming out of Vietnam, and we're worried about Nixon setting himself up as an emperor, not stepping down from presidency and becoming the ruler of the world, right? American imperialism, right? These ideas coming out of the 60s, going into the 70s, and George Lucas is struggling with all of this and has questions as a Methodist who's as a born and raised Methodist who's been exposed to these Buddhist ideas coming out of the 60s, and Shunryo Suzuki coming over from Japan, and Alan Watts, people like that. Excuse me, China beginning to open up and introduce us to new things. The East meets the West, and that's what Star Wars is. It's all of these things. So when I talk about it from a Taoist perspective, I'm not being crazy, because that's there. If I talk about it as a social justice warrior, I don't know why that's a pejorative term, because Star Wars has always been about the social justice warriors stepping up as actual freaking warriors and leading the charge against oppression, right? What did I say in the video about Holdo and the social justice warriors and the feminists ruining Star Wars? People thought I was crazy. I was actually screaming at my camera on purpose to get a reaction out of you guys. Prince didn't meditate today. Hey, man, I'm just trying to push buttons and get a response out of people and wake you up. Get you to wake the F up so you'll think, right? And not just listen to this channel and Alex this guy, Jeremy this guy, and what, Ben Shapiro, now he's trying to talk about Star Wars and not knowing what the hell he's talking about. And then, what's it? Oh, yeah, I'm Alex Jones, and I'm going to talk about how the social justice warriors are ruining Star Wars, and Luke Skywalker was the baddest ass that ever walked the earth, and now they've emasculated him, and his lightsaber doesn't even work, and it's all Kathleen Kennedy's fault because she's a snake person, right? Stupid shit like that, right? And I made this video. What did I say? I said Star Wars is a story of the oppressed. It is the oppressed rising up against oppression and beating it, right? Everything happens. It's all happily ever after an ending, right? George Lucas said way back when, if anyone if any studio had produced Star Wars, it would have been Disney. So how can Disney be ruining Star Wars if George Lucas essentially was creating this for Disney, but at the time no one would touch the property except for, who was it? Fox. Fox was the only people who would touch Star Wars back then because it was so crazy. Everyone thought it was gonna flop, right? I'm like, seriously, how you guys gonna comment and talk about the death of Star Wars? Star Wars is dying, this and that. You haven't even done your history. Like, seriously, before these guys, some of y'all watch these other channels that talk about all this negative stuff going on in Star Wars, and hey, maybe they make some good points, but it's like, okay, that's how you feel. Like I said, it's art. You can interpret art any way you want. It doesn't necessarily mean you're right. It's just the way that you interpret it. You're right in your own mind, but you might be wrong to everyone else. Right? But seriously, some of y'all need to take a step back. Hop on Audible. I should post you know what? In the video description, there's a link to a free trial in Audible. And get The World According to Star Wars. It won't take you long. Take a walk. Some of you need to get outside and experience this thing called the real world. Listen to it in your car, on a walk, wherever. And listen to The World According to Star Wars. Maybe you'll learn some of the things that I keep saying, right? That politics are a part of Star Wars. That George Lucas had all these intentions and plans and things that he had going into creating this. It got rearranged, and hey man, it's just crazy the way that it all came about. And those themes are present again. And the themes that George Lucas was wrestling with in the real world. Hey man, we got this dude Trump, and I edited that video. I edited it out after I said we got this motherfucker Trump as our president. I went on a 5-minute rant about the KKK rally here in Tennessee and how there was a mixed couple. Some of my friends actually went out because, you know, I'm a social justice warrior in the real world, not just on YouTube, like you dumb motherfuckers criticizing me, right? I do this in the real world in front of real people, but you're a tough guy on your keyboard, right? You're a tough guy in your basement, right? At your desk, right? You can type all of this stuff, but you won't get in front of real people and say what you got to say and do your thing and stand up for what you believe in. But anyway, like I was saying, the Klan, they had a rally. They got chased off, so they decide they're going to go to a bar and be salty that people, that white people are, you know, that real people in Tennessee are not going to stand for that shit. And what did they do? They assaulted a mixed couple, a black man, white woman, married couple who were just there out in Brentwood, the nice part, Williamson County, highest, the highest average salary in the state, right? Where all the rich folks live. Miley Cyrus lives out there. A bunch of the Titans live out there, right? And they assault this couple, and people are just becoming more emboldened to spit hate, right? And we're seeing it. I mean, you know, we got a bunch of losers who are empowered to be bigger keyboard warriors. We got losers stepping up. So, oh yeah, we were the ones that chased Kelly Marie Tran off of Instagram, and why she doesn't use her Twitter account and this and that, right? And for me, I'm just like, you know, you can feel whatever way you want to, but and you can call yourself a Star Wars fan, but just because you're a fan of something doesn't mean you understand it, right? It's a lot of stuff that I like that I don't understand, right? I loved basketball for years. Before I became a coach in college, I really didn't understand basketball just because I knew how to dribble through my legs and shoot the ball through the hoop. I really didn't know much about basketball until I actually became a part of it, until I invested time in learning the game, right? And just sitting down watching a movie, but you haven't read the books, you haven't sat down and actually asked, why is this happening? Why did this scene happen? Why did Rose do this? What is Rose's purpose? It's easy to say, oh, Rose is pointless and she's a forced character, right? But what does she do? Who is she speaking to? She spends all this time with Finn. They go on an adventure. Oh, Rose in the book Cobalt Squadron, we learned that she invented this baffler technology. And oh, wait a minute. Wasn't Leia's plan contingent on this thing called a baffler, some kind of program that scrambles the ship's signals so that the First Order can't track the ships? So wait a minute, this character that we thought was pointless this whole time, she invented this, she created this tech that Leia's whole plan was based on, so the Resistance was going to be saved because of Rose Tico's plan, her tech, right? And then Rose, her sister dies, and her sister is telling her this guy Finn is a hero. And here's Finn, he wants to cut and run because he doesn't know, he has no identity. He left the First Order, and he's like, yo, look, they forced me into being a soldier. This Resistance, hey man, all my life I was taught to, well, not all my life, but I was taught that you guys, to kill you guys, to shoot you guys, to do whatever. You're not so bad, but I don't want to be a soldier for these guys, and I don't want to be a soldier for you guys either. I want to find this girl that I met named Rey on Jakku. We had an adventure. I felt like we connected. I think we might have something special. I'm trying to get away to the Outer Rim, and me and Rey can go, I don't know, go be moisture farmers or something on Tatooine, and y'all deal with the First Order. As long as they're not out looking for me, I'm good. And then Rose steps in and she's like, no, you're a hero. You can't do, we look up to you. And hey, Rose likes Finn, so some of it is selfish. Like if you leave and this girl Rey, what about me? I don't have anybody. And is she cringy or I don't know. Nobody I know uses that word, right? Is it cringe worthy? Well, if you read the novel, it's even worse because she straight up hates on Rey. And every time she looks at Finn, she's like, you big dummy. And then her little head bubbles. She's like, oh, he's so fine. Oh man, I want some of that chocolate. Oh man, I want some of that Finn in me. I wonder how big his fin is, right? But so you guys really should read the book. It's kind of funny, like how hard she's hating on Rey, how much she's trying to push up on Finn. He is fine. He's dumb. The First Order never taught him anything, but man, he is fine. This literally is in the book, right? But she's supposed to be like that. She has no social skills. She's like some of you motherfuckers, right? You don't talk to real people. All you do is this. And she's fixing stuff. And the only person she ever talked to was her sister. And now her sister's dead, right? So she's like, literally, that's how she is, right? And so all this, it comes down to this, right? What's the title of this article again? Star Wars fans fundamentally misunderstand Star Wars. And that's what I'm seeing. We got a bunch of people hating out there, even people who's not getting on Kelly Marie Tran, and you're not assholes and racist, but some of y'all don't get it either, man. So this is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. This is what I've tried to do on this channel when I'm really doing what I set out to do. I want to look at the stories, the themes that are going on. Why is this happening? Why does this character act this way, right? Like, seriously, man, to play in my playground, you got to think critically about Star Wars. You got to be prepared to think critically. Somebody said, hey man, your deepest stuff was those videos on Kylo Ren and why you think he turned to the dark side. It's really kind of funny. If you go back and watch those videos, some of that stuff, it really does look like that's what happened, even though I had to come up with a point, like point zero. At point zero on the timeline, Kylo Ren turned to the dark side. And this is what I'm calling point zero. He had a vision of Rey, but he didn't know it was Rey, and this and this and this and all the things. And it's kind of looking like, yeah, that's not exactly what happened, but that's kind of what happened, right? And I had to dive deep into Joseph Campbell's work, Mircea Eliade, and I had to ask, okay, why is he doing these things? What happened? Why is he doing this? How did he respond? That's what I try to do, man. And I mean, really, all this dumb shit that's going on is making me just think, you know what? I can just keep this stuff to myself. I have the conversations with Caleb and Billy, the guys who basically every video I'm talking to Caleb and Billy, the guys who I went out with who convinced me, hey man, record this stuff and put it on your YouTube channel. Because I wasn't doing Star Wars back then. I was doing spirituality and meditation and everything else. And just, I don't know, just talking about anything on YouTube, right? Oh, I'm gonna make a video today. Okay, 3 weeks have gone by, I'm gonna make a video, right? But the way I look at, I don't know. I'm just starting to think that the way I look at Star Wars, You know, I know I'm a different kind of dude, but I'm starting to question, like, sometimes I think I'm watching something different than everybody else, right? Why do these, so when you come at me and, oh man, I lost faith in you. Well, first off, I never asked anybody to have faith in me anyway. Faith is a thing of ultimate concern. So if you're talking about I'm your object, the way I talk about Star Wars is your thing of ultimate concern, you need to make some better life choices, man. You need to sit down and reevaluate your life, right? Don't put your hopes in me, because I certainly don't put my hopes in any of you.